Now, to join us to talk more about how starring in a movie might get a city or country onto a tourist radar is Jeeyeon Hahm. She is the assistant professor at the Rosen College of Hospitality in the University of Central Florida. Of course, the hospitality capital of the United States. Thanks very much for joining us. I want to start by asking you, rarely does a movie create the international buzz that Crazy Rich Asians has, and one would think this can be a real bonanza to Singapore.
Absolutely. For popular movies, destinations typically see a 20 to 30% increase in tourism. It's really hard to say that all of that increase in tourism is all attributed to one movie. It's even more difficult to see that for very popular, already popular destinations such as Paris or New York City. But we can see more of that impact of a movie for lesser popular destinations. And we've also seen about 200% or even 300% of increase in tourism activity for those lesser known destinations.
Well, Jeeyeon, as someone who traveled to Singapore not terribly long ago, I can attest to the fact that it is really far from the United States. It is really far from Europe. What effect is that going to have on Singapore in terms of limiting the ability to capitalize on this attention and bring people to separate them from their cash?
Right. Well, there might be some challenges due to the physical distance and the cultural distance between North America and Europe to Singapore. However, overall, travel has been booming and a lot of people have been traveling. International tourist arrivals have been increasing, and Asia is a hot market right now, and traveling to Asia from North America or Europe has been increasing. So and people are being more educated, they're more interested in different cultures, they're more open now. So I think this is a great opportunity to even expose Singapore more and gather that interest.
And traveling is just such a wonderful exercise to get out and see other parts of the world. And we've seen this before as well. New Zealand, certainly off the beaten path, but look what Lord of the Rings did for that nation. As we mentioned, some $200 million in tourism for a pretty small, not extremely populated nation. Talk about other locations that have seen this kind of attraction pop up in the wake of a successful movie.
Right, absolutely. You mentioned Lord of the Rings, which is a great example. Actually, Tourism New Zealand, which is their destination marketing organization for the country, they launched a they implemented an image management process even before the production of the movie, which continued during the production and even after the release of the movie. And they also, since the release in 2001, they've been promoting themselves as the home of Middle Earth. So that's a great example. We've also seen other cities that have capitalized on the movie success. Asheville is another example. They have Hunger Games, and they created tours, and they highlighted on the website of their tourism board. Oahu, Hawaii, also back in 2004, when 51st States was released, they partnered with the production company and the airlines to promote the city and the whole state.
Yeah, and Asheville, as you mentioned, in the southern part of the United States, a wonderful sleepy city that has the Vanderbilt mansion there as well, a lot to see. But there are regional effects as well, meaning that parts of Crazy Rich Asians, they were shot outside of Singapore in such Malaysia and Thailand. Are those areas going to benefit, even though they do have their own tourist destinations already spelled out in clear fashion?
Right, definitely. People quickly find out about where films were, where the movie was filmed, different locations. It might be in one country, it might be in different countries, but a success of one destination also spills over to the surrounding destinations. And we're talking about Southeast Asia, where countries are not too far away from each other within that sub-region. And Malaysia also being very close to Singapore, bordering Singapore, and parts of the movie were filmed there. So I can see the benefit from this movie to both countries. And according to the United Nations World Tourism Organization, Southeast Asia showed the highest growth in terms of tourist arrivals.
Wow.
And Thailand is at the top, with Singapore being the second and Malaysia being third. So I think this is a wonderful opportunity for Singapore to jump on board and use this opportunity to increase their awareness and increase their tourism activity.
Okay, Jeeyeon Hahm, thanks very much for joining us, the assistant professor at the Rosen College of Hospitality at the University of Central Florida.